What is up, everybody, and welcome to FLW Videos. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Elite TMs being added into Pokemon Go, how you can obtain them, how they are going to work, and then finally, talking about the top Pokemon that you do want to focus on, and even some situational awareness of what are the types of Pokemon you would want to focus on. So I'm very excited about that. If you do enjoy this video, if it is helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. But let's go ahead and jump into this. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is how you actually obtain them. So this is going to happen at the end of Season 1 of Go Battle League, so that's online PvP. You will receive an Elite Charge TM if you end up reaching rank 7 or higher by the end of the season. So that's how it's going to happen now. In the future, it will probably roll out to a couple of other things. So for now, this is going to be the first way that they've officially kind of launched it out. But anyways, it does specifically say an Elite Charge TM and not an Elite Fast TM. So that's something to just kind of keep in mind when you're thinking about like Pokemon that you would kind of prioritize, and of course what you would actually be able to use. But anyway, so when we get past that, if we're talking about like what the heck is the benefit of this thing, so number one, with these TMs, you are going to be able to finally choose your move. Now think about all those times where you just spent 15, 16, 17, I mean, Lord knows how many TMs to try to get the right move that you ended up wanting, just to not even get it and just spend a ton of TMs. Well, apparently instead of fixing the TM system as a whole, Niantic is just going to end up doing this and doing what TMs should do in the first place. But there is an added benefit that I actually think means a lot to a lot of people, and why it is going to still be highly valuable or highly like coveted, like people want this thing. And that is because not only will you get to choose your move, but you will also be able to get exclusive type moves such as Raid Day moves or Community Day exclusive moves. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be amazing. We have a couple Pokemon on the list, obviously, that are going to end up fitting this scenario. So in this case, one kind of clarification to point out that we're just going to have to honestly wait on, and you need to check out the pinned comment in the comment section below if there is somewhat of an update on this. And that's kind of like where do legacy moves end up falling into place. So I ended up reaching out to Swag Tips. He's got speculation. I mean, legacy moves may just be made available, period. That is very possible. We're not really sure, but we definitely know it is going to be for those Raid Day exclusive moves and for the community days. So that is definitely going to be exciting. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Now, the first Pokemon that I have on my list is just a Shadow Ball Mewtwo. So when you have yourself a Shadow Ball Mewtwo, what you could do is you could unlock a secondary charge move and then TM over and get yourself a Psystrike. So here, like I have a Psychic, for example, and this is really like a great scenario for me to just go over and get Psystrike. At the same time, what you could also do with this is get a Pokemon like Mewtwo, obviously, for example, that has Psystrike and then unlock Shadow Ball. So Psystrike and Shadow Ball are now going to be a dangerous combination. So if you have yourself a Shadow Ball already, go ahead and maybe unlock a secondary charge move, for example, and TM it over to Psystrike. And then if you have a Psystrike, unlock secondary charge move and get yourself Shadow Ball. So that's going to be the first Pokemon on my list. And I already have so many level 40 Pokemon. It was just such a solid investment at the time. And now because I unlocked the secondary charge moves already, it's just going to be an absolutely easy decision for me to make. Up next, we are going to once again bring up Mewtwo, but this time it's going to be those Mewtwo's that did not have Shadow Ball, that did not have Psystrike. And I always joked about this, but I always had this Psychic Mewtwo, and it was a 100% IV one before they did any of those Raid Days or anything like that. And I'm sitting here going, well, what do I do with this? It's level 40, it's got Psychic, it's now beat by Psystrike, for example. Well, guess what I do? I TM over to Psystrike. Now all of a sudden, no more Psychic in this case. TM it up to Psystrike, and that's going to be an upgrade for this Pokemon. It's already level 40. It's 100% IV in this case. So basically, if you've got a non-exclusive moveset Pokemon, now's your chance to finally get into the exclusive move pool. So that is going to be very exciting for a Pokemon like Mewtwo, especially ones that do not even have any of the original Elite or specific movesets like Shadow Ball or Psystrike. Now up next, this is going to be an interesting one. Maybe you found yourself catching a 98% shiny IV and you accidentally evolved it while you're trying to change a name. I don't know. You know, stuff happens. But that kind of like happened to me. But what's kind of funny about all of this is you may have a very good community day move Pokemon that you just don't have a community day move on them. So this would be an example where I don't have Frenzy Plant on this one because I accidentally evolved it outside of the time window. So now if I wanted to, I have the potential opportunity to go ahead and get the TM over to Frenzy Plant on one like this. I would almost guarantee that everyone out there has that one Pokemon that they either evolved before community days came out, or they just missed the window, or they accidentally evolved, or just something happened, but you have a community day Pokemon that you don't have the community day move for. But I would imagine that a lot of people kind of have something for that. Up next is Mew. So Mew, the reason why we're putting Mew up here is actually for a different reason. It has nothing to do with obtaining an exclusive move or like anything like that. In this particular case, the reason why we're wanting to do this is because this Pokemon's moveset is so large, you trying to TM over to the ideal moveset that you want to get is an absolute nightmare. And I mean an absolute nightmare. So kind of interesting is that this Pokemon could potentially take multiple Elite TMs to get over to the moveset that you want. But speaking of that, this is the movesets that you would want. So this is going to be for the Great League, and then it's also going to be for the Ultra League as well. And then you've got the Masters League moveset down here. So just kind of take a look at that. I mean, as far as like the similarities between them are concerned, you've got Shadow Claw, and then you've got Psyshock and Psyshock. And then the moves that kind of change are just Focus Blast and then Overheat. So just kind of keep that in mind. Like, this is what I would want to get on this Pokemon. And I am not going to go in there with my TMs and try to get to these movesets. That is an absolute no. But Mew is definitely on the top of my list just because it has such a massive move pool. It would just not be worth it to use all of those TMs. So I definitely wanted to put Mew on this list. And speaking of kind of like large move pools, that's going to be the second Pokemon on this list, and it isn't necessarily just Hypno. It's really just talking about those Pokemon that have massive move pools, especially when you're talking about like 5. I would say 5 would probably be like the cutoff for me, where you could have 5 different charge moves that are currently available for the Pokemon. And for example, like with Hypno, because it ended up getting those elemental punches added to it, there's just so many moves, and then it got like a legacy move added back. For Hypno, using that on PvP, a lot of people struggled with getting like the moveset that they actually wanted in this case. So whatever you plan to kind of use with the Pokemon, just know you can end up choosing that in that case. And I think that a Pokemon like Hypno would make a lot of sense. There are other Pokemon that have 4 to 5 as well, like Snorlax is a great one. And then maybe one like Rhyperior, and but if that were the case, it'd kind of fall into the community day. You would just want to get Rock Wrecker. But yeah, I wanted to go ahead and kind of point out those Pokemon in that case. And then finally, I have a bit of a head scratcher. Now, 2 things kind of going on with this one. Number 1, with Tyranitar, the actual Elite TM that you would want to use is the Fast Elite TM. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but Tyranitar was actually able to obtain its community day exclusive move, like if you evolved it during the right time, because it was a quick move. They applied some logic to the move Frustration where you couldn't obtain a community day exclusive move, but what really happened was it was a charge move, not a quick move. So if you can go ahead and use that for the Fast TM and you can get yourself that Smackdown, honestly, I think that could be kind of an exciting one. But like I said before, that is for the Fast TM. But I think Shadow Pokemon are kind of an interesting situation. It's a little bit difficult to figure out exactly what you would do with it, especially if you can't obtain the community day exclusive charge moves. Maybe something like a Metagross, for example. It's going to be a little bit tricky, so I'm going to actually end there. I want to know what you think about the Elite TMs in the comment section below, and then specifically how you think Shadow Pokemon would end up working. I would love to get your feedback on it, and I will see you next time. If you want to develop a deeper connection, I would highly recommend you to check out Patreon. We've got a lot of really cool things going on over there. Check out all of these supporters that we have. We are almost up to 100. We are also posting some special content, some behind the scenes work. And if that is the type of thing that interests you, I would highly recommend you to check it out.